I feel today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You ought to make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
And the game is not over. Getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E. Streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It is a fast break edition of Talk Your Team Tuesday. I got to get in, got to get out. All right, so, man, it is now down to the final two. We had the conference championships this weekend, and I was 100% correct on my picks. I had Philadelphia. I had Kansas City. Everybody was saying San Francisco was going to get it done with that defense. Hey, Philly brought a defense of their own, and they caused Brock Purdy a whole lot of issues in that game. Knocked him out of the game, not intentionally, not dirty, just tough defensive play. In fact, we now know that he suffered a UCL tear. I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, not real tight on biology. UCL, wasn't familiar with that, but in the arm, could not throw. In fact, only threw the ball, I think, 3 times after his return. Said he couldn't throw the ball over 5-10 yards, so that's why they only did the little short screen. So, but Philadelphia, led by Jalen Hurts and that Eagles defense, got it done, and now they're on their way to Super Bowl 57. And, man, let me just tell you, the disrespect, and I'm not a Kansas City homer. I am definitely an outsider looking in on that. The disrespect that Kansas City got going into this game for a couple of reasons, because Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals had beaten Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs the last 3 times that they play them. But I tell people all the time, what does that mean? At the end of the day, what does that mean? You don't start off with a 3-point advantage because you've beaten a team 3 times in a row. You don't start off with some, unfair advantage because you beat a team 3 times. You got to beat them this time for any of that to even matter, and they didn't. And I know a lot of folks had a whole lot to say about the officiating. Let me just tell you, the officials were way too active in that game. We got to know far too much and see far too much of the officials in that game. But let me just tell you, before you get all sideways and come at me about the holding call that got missed and the this call that got missed and the that call that got missed, I don't care about the calls that got missed. I can tell you without any hesitation, without any doubt, that was roughing the passer, unnecessary roughness. When you push a quarterback and he's already out of bounds, there is no disputing that. So you can argue all you want about other calls. It will never change that call was a penalty and it should have been called. Bad mistake, bad decision, bad choice at the worst possible time during the game. I don't care about blocking the back on the kickoff return that got him there or the punt that got him there. I don't care about any of that. That poor young man, defensive player, Asaya, unfortunately made a bad decision, bad choice, and it cost him greatly. Do I think that cost him the game? No. I'm with Zach Taylor. There are too many other plays throughout a game for that one to have cost them the whole game. And I was very glad to see his teammates standing by him during the post-game press conference in the locker room. I'm proud of his teammate for doing it. Where the hell were the media relations people? That's their job. Where the hell were they when this young man is standing at his locker crying, trying to hold it all together? Thank God for his teammate. That's what I got to say. I said the same thing with Giovanni Bernard down in Tampa. The media relations people should have been fired. Same thing in Cincinnati. Where the hell were you? You should be standing by that guy's side, making sure that the questions asked were on the up, and they didn't. But again, a teammate had his back. So feel bad for him. Does not change that the call shouldn't have been made, and does not in any way change the disrespect that Kansas City felt and faced coming into that game. How the hell do you rename somebody else's stadium after the quarterback of the opposing team? Burrowhead was, again, Cincinnati Bengals, fan. New Orleans Saints, fan. Everything else, I cover it. I appreciate the players. I appreciate the coaches. I appreciate what they do. I cover it. But to call that stadium Burrowhead, and these are national media people, to talk about, the DNA tests are in and Joe Burrow is the Kansas City Chiefs' father and Patrick Mahomes' father and all that. Listen, man, that's unnecessary bulletin board material, and it came out, and Kansas City used it as fuel for the fire. So, even the mayor of Cincinnati, again, it's one thing to be a fan. It's another thing to cross a line. And Travis Kelce, calling him a jabroni and stay in your lane. The only thing I can say positive about that from the Cincinnati standpoint is the mayor owned it. He's like, yeah, I deserve that. I deserve that. So, again, it's set now. You can argue all you want. You can cry all you want. You can blame the refs all you want. The Super Bowl is set with Philadelphia and Kansas City. It's set. There's no changing it. Just like when, the team that I love, the New Orleans Saints, a clear pass interference call by the LA Rams, and it didn't get called. Hey, listen, you got to live with it. You got to deal with it, and you got to get over it. It's that simple. Or carry it with you for the rest of your life. Either way, I don't care. I don't care. If you want to carry that mess with you for the rest of your life and you got the room, you got the baggage space, do that. But at the end of the day, BS3 said it best. You got to back up your trash talk. And now folks say, oh, well, Cincinnati is 3-1 in their last 4 meetings. Yo, behind is sitting at home. You going to get the same, chance to go to the Super Bowl as I will. You buy yourself a ticket and you carry yourself down there to Glendale, Arizona. That's how you get into the Super Bowl. Everybody on the Cincinnati Bengals organization. That's why I took to task the general manager for the Buffalo Bills when he made all those dumb behind statements about the Cincinnati Bengals. You are at home, bruh. Your team once again fell short. You were the favorite all year long, and your team once again fell short. And all you got is shade. Do your job. You're not auditioning to be a comedian. Do your job, general manager. I'm not knocking the Bills Mafia. Love them. Love their fandom. One of the best fan bases in the world. But your general manager let you down. Dumbest comments in the world. Dumbest comment. You talk trash and you at home. You talking trash from home. Cincinnati is now talking trash from home. Kansas City is talking trash from Glendale, Arizona. Philadelphia is talking trash from Glendale, Arizona. Every game is not the same. Definitely not every playoff game. The one thing I'll say is this before I take my first break. Philadelphia has been a beast in these playoffs. 69 points scored, 14 points allowed. Oh, but they did it against a third-string quarterback and a quarterback with no arm. Baby, that's all part of the game. That's all part of the game. That defense was so tough, they knocked 2 quarterbacks out of the game. That's all part of the game. I'm sorry, your emergency quarterback, was about to be Christian McCaffrey. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you because your quarterback got hurt. Nobody gonna feel sorry for you because your backup quarterback got. We care about them. We don't care about your feelings. Come on, this football. What they say about baseball? Ain't no crying in baseball. Ain't no crying in baseball. Ain't no damn crying in football. Get over it. All right, gotta take a break. Come back. Fast break edition. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Two more great shows from the BS3 Network. If you want to get down with BS3, all you got to do is download from your ROKU streaming device, BS3 TV. That's B as in boy, S3 TV. And you got all the great shows that are on the network. If you don't have a ROKU streaming device, then go to the website, www.bs3network.com, www.bs3network.com, and you will find some great programming. Hey, we're changing the way you watch TV. All right, getting back to it. Not taking any calls today. I know folks want to get in, talk about the game, talk about the calls that didn't happen and all this. But another thing, I don't care about the, they replayed 3rd and 9 and all of that. Listen, they explained why they did it. If you look at the wide angle view, you can see the referee running in, trying to stop the play, blowing his whistle. That's, Kansas City did not score. They kicked the ball to Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow proceeded to throw an interception. So, again, man, y'all want everything given to you. Were they supposed to just hand walk you into the end zone so y'all could get the win? I don't understand, Bengals fans, and I love the Bengals. That's my team. I don't get it. I don't understand what y'all talk. And before you try me, please don't. Kenny Anderson, Booby Clark, Ross Browner. Don't try me. Chris Myers. I'm even talking before Chris Collinsworth. Chris Myers, Anthony Munoz. Don't try me. Don't try me. Rodney Holman. Don't try me. Don't try me. Been a Bengals fan longer than some of y'all been alive. But that doesn't change that Cincinnati didn't do what they needed to do to get that win. Refs aside, all that other stuff aside, they did not do what they needed to do to get the win. All right, let me go quarterback power rankings because this tells a story as well. Number 1 rated quarterback this week, Patrick Mahomes, 105.4, completed 67% of his passes. And by the way, his team got the win. And he made a bonehead mistake. That ball that slipped out of his hands and ended up being a fumble turn. They were driving for points then. And the defense picked him up, and he got, some plays made with his legs. And guess what? They got the win. Brock Purdy was the number 2 rated quarterback, even though he got knocked out of the game and came back in, a passer rating of 90.6, and he completed 4 out of 4 of his passes, even though he could not throw the ball downfield. Jalen Hurts was the number 3 rated quarterback this weekend, 72.3 passer rating, completed 60% of his passes. Jalen Hurts is not 100%. That off shoulder, that non-throwing shoulder is still bothering him, but he still got the job done. He did what he needed to do to make sure his team got the win, and they dog-walked. They dog-walked the San Francisco 49ers. And then Joe Burrow, out of all 4 quarterbacks this weekend, he was the lowest rated quarterback. So don't tell me how the refs made him be the lowest rated quarterback of the game. Didn't get it done. 70.2% passer rating, completed 63% of his passes, and his team suffered the loss. The facts don't lie, y'all. The facts don't lie. The facts just don't lie. All right. Got a little time before my next break. Let's talk about this Super Bowl, man. Let's talk about this Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts from Channel View High School right here outside of Houston, Texas, versus Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes from White House High School right outside of Tyler, Texas. It's got a Texas flavor on it, but bigger than that, for the first time in NFL history, 2, not 1, but 2 black quarterbacks starting against each other in the Super Bowl. Hey, I know folks don't like it when we say that. Oh, you never say it when 2 Asian, you never say it when 2 Hispanic. A, it's never happened. And B, if it did, we would. Just because, oh, I don't see color. Well, shame on you. You ought to appreciate everything about the person in front of you. Their color, their intellect, their personality, their size, their hairstyle, their glasses, whatever they got going on, you ought to appreciate it because it helps make them who they are. I used to say that, and then I realized how ignorant it was. Oh, I don't see color. Well, then you're discounting something that someone has had to live with for their entire life. Shame on you. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And if you followed me all season long, you know that brothers were near the top 5 in quarterbacking all year long. The quarterback at Seattle, Geno Smith, near the top all year long. Patrick Mahomes near the top all year long. Jalen Hurts near the top all year long. Dak Prescott was top 15 all year long. It's a myth that black people can't play quarterback. And now, watch this, it's a myth that a quote-unquote running quarterback can't win the big one in the NFL. He's got a chance to. And just to end that narrative, and because he's a local guy, I want to see Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl because they're going to be yeah-butting like crazy, Keith Hennig. They're going to be yeah-butting like crazy. Yeah, but if it hadn't been for the defense, yeah, but if it had not been for the running game, yeah, if it had not been for the refs, that man has led his team to the best record in the NFL all year long and to the Super Bowl. And I hope he wins it. Keith, I'm with you. If you say you don't see color, you're lying to yourself. You don't want to see color. That's a choice. That's a choice. If you don't see color, you don't want to see color. You're not doing that person a favor. You're not doing that person a favor by not seeing their color. So, kudos to you. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll come back, and then I got to talk about the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. Man, what a week. What a week. What a week. Everybody was either perfect or they won nothing at all. Nothing in between. Everybody was either perfect or they won nothing at all. We'll get to it. We'll get to it right after this on the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Man, let me tell you something. I've been with a few networks. I've been with a few stations in my life over 40 years of radio and TV. And I got to tell you, none have the diversity of the BS3 network. None of them have the diversity of the BS3 network. There is something for everybody on the BS3 network. All you got to do is download it from your ROKU streaming device, BS3 TV, and you'll have access to all of it. If you don't have a ROKU streaming device, get one. If not, go to the website, bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let me get ready to get out of here. But before I go, man, let me tell you about this doggone Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge Playoff Edition, where you got 6 people competing for $500 cash. And here's what we got after this week. After this week, we had 5 players that were perfect. Got none of them wrong. Only one person, my boy, Emmanuel. What's up, King? Emmanuel did not get any of them right. He had San Francisco in the early game. He had the Bengals in the last game. And again, Emmanuel now has literally been eliminated because everybody has 2 wins over him, and there's only one game left. Only one game left. So this week's winner, and we don't do weekly prizes, but this week, the person that got it absolutely right was Alexis. She was absolutely perfect. Alexis had Philadelphia in the early game. She had Kansas City in the second game, and she had the exact score of the game, 23-20. So Alexis won this weekend, but the standings after this weekend, Miss Pearl is still on top. She's got a total of 12 wins, and the only way anybody can beat her is if she gets the Super Bowl wrong. Everybody else gets the Super Bowl right, and somebody comes closer to the final score this weekend than her. That's the only way anybody else can win, and the only people that have a chance to win are Miss Pearl, Alexis, Amber, Erica with a K, and Al High. Unfortunately, Emmanuel is 2 losses behind with only 1 game left to play. He has been eliminated. Emmanuel, great job. Thanks for a great season. All right, so here we go. Here are the final standings heading into the Super Bowl. Here are the standings heading into the Super Bowl. At number 1, Miss Pearl. At number 2, Alexis. At number 3, Amber. At number 4, Erica with a K. At number 5, Al High. And at number 6, Emmanuel. And that's all based on tiebreaker. All right. So Miss Pearl has 12 wins, Alexis 11, Amber 11, Erica 11, Al High 11, and Emmanuel has 9 wins. So again, Emmanuel has been eliminated. So I've got to have your picks by February the 12th at 3:30. We'll go 4:30. Look, I caught myself. We'll do 4:30 Central. 4:30 p.m. Central on February the 12th. I've got to have your picks. Give me who you think's going to win and give me the exact final score for the Super Bowl. Give me who you think's going to win and the exact final score for both teams for the Super Bowl. And somebody after that is going to win $500 cash. So Again, Miss Pearl, number 1. Alexis, number 2. Amber, number 3. Erica with a K, number 4. Al Hyde, number 5. And Emmanuel at number 6. What a man. It has never been this close. It has never been this close. Man, I don't know how this is going to end. I don't know how this is going to end. All right, let me wrap up with this right here. Got about 5 minutes. Let me wrap up with this right here. It looks like D'Amico Ryans is going to be the next head coach of the Houston Texans. He is in town. They're going to meet with the Texans today, and they will announce D'Amico as their new head coach either today, no later than tomorrow. Number 1, I'm glad that they're not waiting around till the Super Bowl. If they had waited until after the Super Bowl to announce a head coach, I will call BS on the whole search process. The Houston Texan fan base deserves to know who their coach is, and they deserve to have time to deal with that without it getting mixed up with all the other stuff. So it looks like D'Amico Ryans is going to be it. J.J. Watt tweeted out a picture of he and D'Amico together. Not sure what that meant. I don't know if J.J. is going to be on staff with D'Amico. Don't know. But D'Amico better get to pick his own staff, offensive and defense coordinator, running back coach. Got to get to pick the special teams coach, line coach, secondary coach. Let him pick his own doggone staff. If Nick Caserio has anything to do with D'Amico Ryans picking his staff, it ain't going to work. Cal McNair, it ain't going to work. Number 2, I wish with everything that was in me that D'Amico had said no to Houston. I don't trust this organization being run by Cal McNair and Nick Caserio. Neither one of them have shown anything that says they know how to run an NFL organization. The last 2 rosters that the Texans had for the last 2 years, they got 2 coach fired. Those were 100% Nick Caserio. The coaching staff, year before last with David Cull, that was Nick Caserio. Cal McNair, since he has been running the team, has had 4 head coaches and 4 general managers. His father, 2 head coaches and 2 general managers. One knew what they were doing, the other one, And then number 3, they better, and I didn't say might, need to, should, they better give him a full opportunity to turn their mess around. This is not D'Amico Ryans' mess. It is not his job to come in and fix Davis Mills. Davis Mills either can or cannot play NFL quarterback, and right now it's looking like he can't. It is not his job to fix him. It is his job to put the best players on the field, and it damn well better be Nick Caserio's job to get him the best players. So this coming draft, they need to get him a potential franchise quarterback. They need to get him some pass rushing. They need to get him some secondary help, and they need to get him some depth on the offensive line. Oh, did I miss it? Did I forget to mention linebackers? They need some. That wasn't Lovie Smith's fault. That definitely wasn't David Culley's fault. That is Nick Caserio's fault. And Cal McNair and Jack Easterby, wherever he may be. So I wish, with everything that was in me, he had said no to this organization. But if he's coming, and it looks like he is, they better. Yeah, I'm saying it. I don't care about credentials at this point. I'll live my life just fine if I never get another credential to the Houston Texans, Houston Rockets, or Houston Astros. Hear me. They better give him a full opportunity to be successful. And Houston fan base, you better appreciate him, because y'all are as wishy-washy as they come. Local media, led by the General, led by Brian T. Smith, led by Aaron Wilson, and others. I don't think y'all would know what a championship franchise looked like if it slapped you right in the face. This city, other than the Houston Astros, does not have championship mentality. And I've lived in cities all around the country that have championship mentality. And I got to tell you, from the local media, from the local many of the local fans, not all, but many of the local fans, you name it, they don't have what it takes. They just like what they like. They like who they like. They'll smile in your face and tell you, oh, yeah, we really appreciate you, and then get on their networks and talk bad about you. Doc, please isolate me, block me, delete me, do whatever you got to do. 2023, I ain't rolling with nothing and nobody fake. 2023, I'm not rolling with nothing and nobody's fake. And if you waiting on me to apologize for something that happened in the past, don't waste your breath. You know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to. Todd Malcolm, stay out of my DMs. You didn't go to an HBU. You ain't got nothing to say about an HBU. Close your mouth. Go run over there with Jason Whitlock. That's your speed. Yeah, I called him out, Todd. And take all your friends with. Don't CC me on nothing from Big Sarge. Don't CC me on nothing from nobody else. Emmanuel Acho, please. Please. So again, either today, tomorrow, or shortly thereafter, the Texans should be announcing DeMeco Ryans as the next head coach of the team. And I, for one, am going to be praying for him, not lying to him, not smiling in his face, telling him what a great dude he is, and then talking behind his back and on my network what's wrong with him. I'm going to be praying for him because the brother deserves better. He deserves better than this Houston fan base. He deserves better than this organization. He deserves better. This should not be his first shot. He has let Denver know he is no longer interested in their job. Good for him. I wish him nothing but the best, period, for multiple reasons. So anyway, let me get out of here. Y'all done ticked me off. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Tune in tomorrow for Winning Wednesday. Again, for the 5 competing for the $500 cash. Get me your picks by February the 12th. 4:30 p.m. Central. 4:30 p.m. Central. Final score of both teams for Super Bowl 57. All right, y'all. I love y'all for real. I love y'all for free. We'll talk soon.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Number 1. Questions regarding the future of the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act have come up since the release of the video involving the severe beating death of Tyree Nichols. The George Floyd bill called for the end of police techniques, including chokeholds and the no-knock warrants. It passed in the Democratic majority U.S. House but failed in the 50-50 Senate. President Joe Biden spoke with Tyree's family before the video's release and joined the call for the legislation. The family also accepted the invitation to attend the president's State of the Union address scheduled for February 7th. Number 2, President Biden arrived in Baltimore Monday to kick off a major project to replace the 150-year-old Baltimore and Potomac Tunnel and rename it the Frederick Douglass Tunnel. This project will address the largest rail bottleneck on the Northeast Corridor between Washington, D.C. and New Jersey, creating chronic delays during the weekday. The program is expected to generate 30,000 jobs, including approximately 20,000 direct construction jobs, most of which do not require a college degree. Number 3, when it comes to COVID-19, the World Health Organization Director General said there's no doubt that we are in a far better situation now than 1 year ago, when the highly transmissible Omicron variant was at its peak. But the general also warned that in the last 8 weeks, at least 170,000 people have died around the world in connection with the coronavirus. He called for at-risk groups to be fully vaccinated, an increase in testing, and early use of antivirals, an expansion of lab networks, and a fight against misinformation about the pandemic. Number 4, the murder of Tyree Nichols by police brought up horrific memories for the family members of Jimmy Atchison, who was killed in January 2019 after a violent encounter with the Atlanta Police Department. Tanya Miller, the Atchison family's attorney, released a statement saying it took the Atchison family nearly 4 long years to seek criminal charges against the man who murdered Jimmy because these officers were not wearing body cameras. Former officer Sung Kim was indicted for Atchison's shooting death and now faces prison time. Number 5, according to our CPA, Katrina M. Kraft, here are a few ways to save some money. Number 1, open a high-yield savings account. Number 2, play it smart with bonuses. And 3, exceed your employer match on your 401k. For the rest of it, head right on over to our What You Need to Know newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Health is more valuable than money. If you don't agree, lose it and see what happens. Join me and my friends at the American Heart Association as we kick off Black History and American Heart Month with the Be the Beat campaign, encouraging one person in each household to get CPR certified. And I'm excited to host the Impact with Heart Black History Month celebration at the Long Gallery in Harlem on Thursday. Meanwhile, join me tonight live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Damon Williams as we discuss today's top headlines and more. To subscribe to my free daily news.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.